The chair today, being the vice chair. Good afternoon. It's 12:04. This open meeting of the Acton Select Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with the legislative acts of 2021, Chapter 20, Section 20, an act relating to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. This meeting is convening by video conference via the Zoom app as posted on the meeting agenda. And please see the meeting agenda on the town website for details on how to participate remotely. This meeting will feature public comment. Please note that this meeting may be recorded and it may be published or rebroadcast. All participation within this meeting will be visible to others. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. The first topic on our agenda, like usual, is resident concerns. Mark, perhaps someone will raise their hand who wants to say something.
There are currently no hands raised.
Okay. I'm happy to guess that our participants are just listening in for now. Yes, okay. So let's go on to Mark. We normally have a chair update at this point. So we have no chair here. I'm the chair. I have no updates. Mark, do you have anything from the town manager's office? Or Lisa?
I do not have any updates for you.
Okay. And any members have things they might want to say for the record? Not David, not Himija, but Fran has something. You go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us.
I just wanted to say what a lovely Saturday morning I spent with our Indo-Actonians celebrating their independence, their 75th year of independence. So it was a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. I'm glad it went well. Okay, that's all our members' minutes. Now I get to find this little speech. Notice is hereby given under Chapter 138, Section 15 of the General Laws that the Select Board will hold a public hearing on Monday, August 8th, 2022 at 12 p.m. virtually on the application of Eve and Murray for a Section 15 beer and wine license located at 525 Massachusetts Avenue, Acton, MA. From a computer, please click on the link to join the public meeting, actonma.gov/meeting/BOS, or from a telephone, dial 646-876-9923 and enter webinar ID 503-918-785. Telephone users may dial *9 to request to speak after joining the meeting. Computer and Zoom users may use the raise hand feature to request to speak. So why don't we first hear from the proponents? If either of you want to speak about, just remind us what you're up to here.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Tamara Murray DeLuzio. My business partner, Dawn Eve Aguiar, is on the phone right now, so you can't see her. But we own Eve and Murray's Farm to Home on 525 Mass Ave. We're an artisan farmstead all-American cheese shop. We also do sandwiches, and then we also have all kinds of barware, cocktail mixers, and all kinds of food items in the fridges, as well as jams and all kinds of non-alcoholic beverages currently as well. We try to support local and women-owned businesses as much as possible. And I'd first like to say thank you to everyone for being here today. I think this is kind of a special, a special meeting for us to have this. So we really do appreciate your time today. So thank you. I guess you just want to hear about why we're applying for this license today.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, of course. So it's, a natural pairing, when you have cheeses, obviously, to have, wines and craft beers to go along with it. Many of our customers who come in, they're looking for wine and for suggestions on what to pair, with their cheeses and charcuteries and for entertaining. And we'd love to be able to, offer that, to our customers. We're looking for very carefully curated wines and beers. So it'll be, craft beers. Again, the focus on local, local around us. There's a lot of breweries as well as, Vermont, New England. And for wines, we're also looking at natural wines and from small producers. So we're not looking for huge mass producers. So it's all going to be very carefully curated that goes well with what we currently have in the store, and kind of what our brand is, very community focused and local focused.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. It could be that board members have questions or comments.
Of course.
David, I see your hand.
Hi, thank you for being here. I just have a few questions. What hours will you intend to be open after the beer and wine license?
We're still going to continue with our 10 to 5.
Okay, so you won't be open in the evening then?
Tuesday through Saturday. I don't know if that will change in the future as we get closer to holiday time. If we were going to be open in the evenings, it would probably just be, maybe a Thursday and a Friday evening as we get closer to holiday and people are starting to shop, and get ready for holiday. But currently right now, it's just my business partner and I, running the whole show. So we'll stick to our Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5 for now. But again, that could change.
Okay, and what will be the format of the service? Is it going to be counter service, or table service, or how's it going to work inside the shop?
Also, currently our shop right now it's counter service. So you come in and you.
I'm sorry, Tamara, if I can just jump in. This is
Yeah,
Dawn from Even Murray's. So we will not be serving alcohol on premises. This is strictly an off-premise license where we're selling for retail only.
Ah, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Don. I guess I didn't understand that that's what you were assuming. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that might be my ignorance as to or misunderstanding as to the type of license. So that's great. So people who buy these things will not be able to consume them on premises.
No, it's off premise only. Yes.
Great. Okay, I have no more questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Himija or Fran? No? Okay. I had one question, I think, for Lisa, just to remind us of our license situation at this point. Is there a limit on these particular kind of licenses, and how close are we to the limit?
This is our last available Section 15 beer and wine package license for the town of Acton. We have no more available after this.
Okay. And that's typical, right? We usually have 0 or 1 available. That's
Yes,
right.
that is correct. There are
Okay,
currently
great.
5 all alcohol and 5 beer and wine package store licenses available for Acton.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's see if there are any. Oh, Fran now has a question or a comment.
Is there a difference between the two licenses? One for carry out and one for on premises? I'm assuming yes. And a number of each.
I'm sorry, Fran, were you addressing me?
Yes.
Oh, yes,
Lisa,
sure.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, Lisa. Yeah.
That's okay. So there are 2 different types. One is a Section 15 and one is a Section 12. A Section 12 license, which is both beer and wine and all alcohol, that's for pouring services. Those are strictly for restaurants. And a Section 15 is off-premise consumption. So going to a package store and purchasing alcohol and bringing it home and not drinking it on premise. So there are currently 5 all alcohol package store licenses in town, and that's the limit due to quota. And we currently have 5 beer and wine package store licenses, of which we have 4 that have been filled, and this would be number 5. And that's all that we have available in the town.
Lisa.
You're welcome.
Mark, is there anybody in the audience who has a question or a comment about this
I
here?
believe Himija had a question. There are no online
Okay, go for it, Imogen.
Thank you. I just came up with this one. And it's not even a question, just wanted to say that I absolutely love your store. I love that it's women focused and just really enjoy what you all do to promote, minority business owners, women business owners. So I guess my question is, now I have a question. With the wines, are you going to be focused on women-owned businesses? Is that going to be part of the selection process?
Yeah, so I can tell you, we already met with Olmsted Wines earlier this week, in hopes of, and we've already looked at 5 different wines that are women producers. So yeah, it won't be primarily wine producers, but yeah, that will certainly be our focus. But yeah, certainly, all, but yeah, we already looked at 5 wine women producers. So yeah, we're really excited. And thank you for all of your kind words. The community has been amazing and gracious and welcoming, and we're just thrilled to be here. So thank all of you so much.
And thank you for providing this wonderful business to our community and to the thriving, West Acton neighborhood. So I haven't heard any negative comments, so perhaps someone would be willing to construct an appropriate motion. David.
I move that we approve the license for a Section 15 beer and wine license to Even Murray's located at 525 Mass Ave.
There a second?
I'll second.
Great. We're all remote, so we get to do this with the roll call ritual. So Imogen, would you call the roll on this question?
Oh, sure. It's been a while. Okay. Jim.
Aye.
Awesome. David.
Aye.
Great. Fran.
Aye.
Awesome. I also say aye. That's unanimous.
Okay, go sell some wine and beer.
Yay. Thank you
guys
all
so-
so
Yeah, we're thrilled. Thank you so much. Look forward to, seeing all of you and, continuing to serve the community. So appreciate it so much.
Great.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Bye now. Bye.
Now we have a couple more things. We have a request to vote for delegating responsibility for assigning police details at polling locations, police chief or town clerk. And I had some email exchanges on this topic with Mark, so I wonder if Mark, could you fill us in a little bit on the, why this is and, any other issues that might be relevant for the board to consider?
Sure. Thank you. This is a request in response to a large package of changes that were made recently to voting law. And what the town clerk has asked, and I believe some other towns may have conducted something similar, is to, rather than go to the board for requesting police details, which is one of the changes made in that package. It used to be the police chief, now it's the select board. Rather than going for a vote and waiting for a response, and then if the logistics of setting up an election would be dependent on the timing of a board meeting. So the clerk has asked to redelegate that back to the police chief and herself so that they can just conduct the organization the way that they used to.
There may be questions or comments on this from the board. David.
Yes, Mark, is this choice whether or not to have police details, or how many officers should be at the polling location?
It's to allow for the clerk and the chief to say there are this number of polling locations. We might need 1 or 2 police officers there. I don't believe it's to eliminate the police details. It's just to schedule them and assign a count. Okay,
good, because I think that I'm in favor of having the police attend be present at the polling location. So I just wanted to make sure that if it's just to figure out the number, I think this is fine.
Fran, I think I see your hand.
I just wanted to add, I thought it was just the decision-making of moving it to the select board other than the police chief. Not the fact that there is going to be police at the polling places or not.
Yes.
Is that-
The previous
okay.
situation was that it was the police chief and the clerk that would work together to decide, how many and where. And the new legislation, the Big Votes Act, which has a lot of complicated stuff that people focused in on, including, early voting and, lots of other, particular details about voting, added in this piece about changing the delegation from to now be a cooperative between the select board and the clerk instead of the police chief and the clerk. And I asked to see if there was if anybody knew any legislative intent of why that change was made, but
That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
I was curious about that very question.
Council stated that they don't know what the intent was, and it's further interesting that there's still a piece of voting law in general that still keeps that authority with the police chief and the clerk. So only part of it was moved to the select board and the clerk. We just don't know why.
Could even have been a drafting error. Any other thoughts or questions? Himija?
Yes. So just so that I'm clear, what we would be what we would be voting on now is essentially for us to work with the town clerk to work out the scheduling for where we assign police personnel per polling location, or am I mistaken?
Well, the proposed motion, which we can pull out if I find we're in agreement with it, is a motion to delegating the question of detailing police officers to the chief of police and the town clerk.
Okay, so delegating it back to them essentially.
Yes. It's been assigned to us very, very recently in July of 2022 with the passage of the Votes Act. And now, and that sort of astonished people because no one was expecting it. And a couple of clerks in towns, not just Acton, have recommended that it be changed back to the way it was.
Okay. One thing I did want to ask is, I don't know if, well, the town clerk's not here, but with having police outside of polling locations, for some people that could make them feel a little bit more unsafe for voting. So I'm wondering whether we want to give any type of direction as to, we can give you essentially we can essentially delegate the decision making back to you as to where police are located. But if police could be stationed a little bit further away from the exact entrance of the polling location or something like that, so that it's not like an armed presence right in front of a polling location, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you. One thought I had to deal with that concern and possible other concerns is to change this motion to delegate it instead of to the chief of police, to the town manager, because we have direct communication with the town manager, who in turn can certainly, work with the chief of police to do it, to move the responsibility. But if the authority goes to the town manager, then at least we have a clear channel for communicating these kinds of concerns, since the town manager works for us. So if that works for people, I would take this proposed motion that we got by email and just swap out chief of police and put in town manager. David has a thought about it.
Yeah, I would kind of prefer to leave it the way it is. It's not my perception that, of course, not being a person of color, but it's not my perception that voters are concerned about a police presence there. I mean, police have been traditionally been present at polling places, but there's concerns about others who are present at polling places. In some cases, people uniformed in a way that makes them appear to be police officers. And frankly, I think that police officers at the polling locations bring comfort to people who are going to vote, not the opposite. But that's me, and I'm comfortable leaving the status quo with the police chief and the town clerk.
Imogen.
Thank you. I do think that, and anecdotally, I haven't heard this from many people, but especially people from immigrant families, people who have recently come here, and even, I think that it, for me and my personal experience has been different, but I do know that a lot of people who come from immigrant families do feel a little bit uncertain with the police presence right there, especially if they're stationed right at the front of that polling location. I'm not saying to not have police presence, but I am saying that that at least us having some input as to where that police presence is detailed and working with the town manager who then works closely with the chief of police, I think is a way for us to be able to provide that feedback and for that feedback to be considered. And then based on what the town manager and the chief of police think best, kind of have that, So in this way, it wouldn't be taking us completely out of that input, which I think, kind of in many ways kind of aligns with maybe what the intent, although we don't even know what the intent was of this new change.
This is a really interesting and important topic about, where police are present and not, and the impact that positive and negative impact that has on people. So I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation, maybe at a time when we can have the police chief and the town manager here, and maybe get testimony from, people who, have concerns or not about it. So in the meantime, it'd be good to find a way to proceed. If we do change this from the chief of police to the town manager, I think that has no practical impact on the September elections, because the town manager can just in turn say, "Oh yeah, okay, you chief of police, you work for me. You can make this decision," because he's perfectly capable of delegating things. But on the other hand, it would allow us to. It gives us a hook to continue the conversation about it. So I'm wondering if that motion fits for people. I would have us try that out and see whether it flew through this. Any other final thoughts before we make a motion? We can always talk about it more after the motion. Since I have this thing right in front of me, why don't I make this motion here? I move to delegate the responsibility of detailing police officers or constables to early voting sites and precincts for all local, state, and federal elections to the town manager and the town clerk. Is there a second for that?
I'll second it.
Okay. So there might be further comments. Since we're about to take a vote, Mark, I wonder if there's any hands raised in the audience?
There are not.
Okay. Imogen, can you take us through the roll call ritual?
Yeah, sure. Jim?
Aye.
Fran?
Aye.
David?
I'll vote no.
Okay, awesome. And then I vote aye, so that is a 3-1.
Great, thanks so much. Look forward to revisiting the bigger issues when we have time and the right people here. Okay. Then we have 2 consent items. Why don't I read through them and people can indicate if they want to have more discussion about them. One is approved meeting minutes, July 25, 2022. And the other is a 1-day alcoholic beverage license for Russ Granzo at the Nara Picnic Pavilion on August 21st, 2022. Okay, seeing no comments, take a motion about approving these 2 guys.
I'll move to approve.
Okay,
I'll
sounds like
second.
you're moving to approve items 5 and 6 on the consent calendar. A second out there?
Second.
Okay, let's do that roll call thing.
Sure. Jim?
Aye.
Fran?
Aye.
Awesome. David?
Aye.
Great. And I also say aye. That's 4 and unanimous. For-
Okay, you just did a whole bunch of decisions. There's at least one more motion that would be appropriate at this point.
I move to
I move to
adjourn.
adjourn. Second.
Let's see, I think we'll score that as David makes the motion and Fran seconds. Okay, let's do that roll call thing.
Sure, Jim.
Aye.
Great, Fran.
Aye.
Great, David.
Aye.
Great. I also say aye.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for making my first time being board chair be, both relatively painless, but also interesting. And yeah.
You
See
did
you all at
great.
our next meeting. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.